With us in the studio here are Perry Webb and Terry Place. Perry and Terry, welcome aboard here this morning.
Thank you.
Terry, a lot of folks know your name, of course. You've been involved with the Van Wert Civic Theater for a long time.
Yes. And thankfully I've given the president's mantle to Dale Terry, who's doing a wonderful job continuing on with our progress and things like that. I will mention real quickly, you mentioned scholarships. Van Wert Civic Theater gave away 4 $500 scholarships. In June, we awarded them to young people that had been involved in some form or another in the past year with a production and are going to a bona fide university. And we gave 4 of them away this year. And we're very,
Excellent.
very proud of another way we can support the young people who are supporting the theater.
Yeah.
I just had to throw that in.
And so will some of these people study acting in school?
They don't need to be. I don't think. I know we have a nurse. We have a couple of teachers.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
great.
about, and somebody in culinary school.
Yeah. Okay.
So, anyways, but I want to talk about Perry.
Well, of course, the newcomer here is Perry Webb, and Perry, you're in the Lima area.
Yes.
But you also authored, you wrote, you scored, you composed the new musical that the AYAT is going to be performing coming up here. And first of all, let me ask, what does AYAT mean? What does that stand for?
It stands for Adolescent and Young Adult Theater. Our group consists of people ages 16 to 27.
And nobody wants to say AYAT, and so they call it...
IAT.
They call it what?
You don't call it AYAT?
IAT, AYAT. You can say it whatever
Just
way
kind
you
of slide
want.
through that first vowel. AY, you're thinking I.
Aye.
And I have to say, this group, they came to us as the old people and said, hey, we have this idea. We'd like to form this group.
Yeah.
And they kind of did it on their own. The first year, they did Spam-A-Lot. Last year, they did Urinetown. And this year, they're doing Looking Back.
Yes.
How about that? So, and maybe the attraction is, and I'm just guessing here, that younger people are looking forward more to playing younger parts in in new productions that haven't been played over and over and over again, right? I mean, this is so far as the author and composer, Perry, this is so far in your mind, right? Have you ever seen this performed, what you wrote?
Yes.
You have.
So I go to Berklee College of Music in Boston, and this past March, my college performed Looking Back. So we had our first production then, and I'm really excited and grateful to be able to take it to Van Wert Civic Theater. And I adore this theater. I've done shows here since 2019, and it's just been a really good time.
Have you...
I was wrong. I thought we were getting the world premiere here.
We're getting the Ohio premiere.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yes.
So, what did you think as the author composer? You wrote the music. You wrote the lyrics to the music.
Everything.
You wrote the screen, the stage play, the book, as it were.
Stage directions, orchestrations.
Yeah.
I produced all the music tracks.
How long does something like
arranged
that take?
So I started writing it in summer of 2022, and it took about 1.5 years to write like the first full draft that I was like, okay, this is a good version of the show. And since then, I've done some rewrites, some revisions, even since the Berklee production, because what works in your mind, what works when you're saying it out loud to yourself, might not actually translate to the stage. So some revisions were done, and now it's in good shape.
Very good shape.
I was going to say, as an artist, how do you know when it's finished? That would always be my problem.
No, yeah, that's the question for all musical theater writers. We're always working on revisions for everything, yeah.
So you take the advice of people you respect who say, stop. Just stop right there.
Yeah.
Don't touch a thing.
No, yeah, I absolutely love feedback. After each musical that I premiere, I ask people, I'm like, hey, what are your thoughts? What do you think worked? What do you think didn't work? What landed? What didn't you understand?
Sure, yeah. So do you write all the dialogue first and then try to figure out how the music will fit into it?
It goes hand in hand. Usually what I'll start with is a plot outline, and then I'll, delve into the characters, their motivations, the themes.
So you're developing them as you go along?
Exactly,
One at a time, or do you do it as they interact with each other?
A little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Wow. That's so complex. And you have to keep all that straight in your mind.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
I'm sure there are times you write until 2 o'clock in the morning, then you go to sleep, and then you wake up the next day and say, this is trash. I can't believe it.
No, yeah. Most of writing and most of songwriting especially, it's not just what you initially write, it's what you rewrite and what you edit.
Always refining.
See if I'm going to guess this right. I read a description of it. Was somewhat your first thought, this is going to be based on someone who has had their life flash before their eyes?
No, actually, it's a completely original idea. And so what the fun thing was with my last musical, it was, kind of loosely based on Julius Caesar. But for this one, I've really been able to come up with everything myself, really exploring the themes of what happens when your life flashes before your eyes. What are all the possibilities with this, with no basis to go off of? So that's been a lot of fun.
You're going into a little sci-fi here.
Yes, absolutely. It's a sci-fi musical.
Wow.
We got to listen to just a read through they did last summer, trying to give us an idea of what it was.
Yeah.
And we were taken with it, and then there was a little twist at the end, and I remember a couple of us audibly were like, oh! It's wonderful. I've been able to go to just a couple, run into the rehearsals.
Yeah.
They have some strong people on that stage. The music is amazing.
Thank
I'm
you.
just so proud of Perry and so thankful that she shared it with us.
Not getting necessarily into the weeds of how these things are written, I'm still fascinated by how it's put together. How do you decide or determine, things as that people normally wouldn't think about, like what key these songs are going to be in?
Oh, yes. So I have perfect pitch. So usually...
Is that right? Well, this helps a lot, doesn't it?
Exactly. So when I write a song, usually the song that, the key that I write it in is the one that I'll like to stick with.
Yeah.
But as I have a higher voice, alto soprano range, the songs for the male characters, they cannot sing that high. So what I have to do is I have to find a key that works in their range, and I have to kind of, give up the key that I'm used to hearing it in.
So if you want them to walk away, though, humming a tune, sometimes you're putting something into a minor key and then recurring it through the musical.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes people it's almost enchanting when that happens.
There's so many motifs in this musical, and a couple reprises.
Yeah. How about that? Well, that sounds. I mean, that's exciting. It really is. So, when you presented this to the actors at AYAT, what was their response? They couldn't wait to get the book open, I'm sure.
They were so excited. What they really connected with, especially, was the music, because it's not like your average musical where it's like show tuney, Kander and Ebb, Rodgers and Hammerstein. Mm-hmm. It has jazz, it has progressive soul, R&B, a lot of fun genres that don't often get used in musical theater.
How do you find people who can sing all that, though?
We have such a talented base. Oh, my gosh. No, yeah, they surprise me every time. So many talented people who can sing in multiple styles, too.
Really?
Which is really lucky.
And they're here in town working amongst us and in the Lima area and places like that?
Walking amongst us.
Are they really?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's important. I mean, it really is. Because I don't think we realize sometimes the talent of the people who are living literally down the street from us or next door to us, but they just don't have a place to display it except for the Civic Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of our theater and the opportunities that we give to people, the young people who just got done with our youth theaters and things like that. I'm very proud, but also they give it back to us when they're willing to give us their time and their energy to put something on stage. We are blessed, and we're really blessed to have the AYAT group. Perry has been fabulous.
So how do you overcome, and maybe you just don't show up and audition if you have this problem, but how do you overcome, being embarrassed on stage?
So, yeah, we have a couple, we've had in the past, performers who are nervous about singing, and it's really just, kind of like an exposure thing.
You don't have to be Streisand in a musical.
You don't have to be what?
Streisand, Barbara Streisand,
exactly.
or anybody who can. I mean, you don't have to be a great singer to be in a musical, fortunately.
Exactly. We have group singing. Not everyone has to have a solo, of course, because we do have an ensemble. Yeah. And with this musical, there's a lot of characters who get featured mostly for their acting, and then they're in ensemble numbers. But yeah, there's a lot of, in the musical, the person's life flashes before our eyes, so we get to meet a lot of different characters.
Sure.
So there's so many roles for our great cast to play.
Do you have anybody playing dual and triple parts?
Yeah,
I thought you would. When you have the dream sequence, or when you have the the flash sequences.
Exactly. Yeah.
Huh.
We have. I would say most people play around 3 or 4 roles. Yeah.
What a challenge.
No, yeah, it's very fun.
What's your total number of cast members?
21.
Yeah.
Great group of people, big cast.
That's
It
amazing.
is wonderful.
How long does it take to whip this together? This is an undertaking, not including the year and a half or so that you spent writing this.
Mm-hmm. So we had auditions in mid-May, and we've been rehearsing ever since.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. And so give us the dates, Terry, on when we can see this.
Okay, it is going to be performed, and I just can't encourage people enough to support this endeavor. July 31st through August 2nd, so first, second, and third.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Thursday through Saturday performances are at 7:30. Sunday, August 3rd is at 2. Tickets are $16. You can go to VWCT.org to get tickets. We are just so proud. We're also excited about the upcoming season that starts with Bonnie and Clyde, the musical.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot going on. But so it's July 31st to the 3rd.
Yes.
August 3rd.
And Perry, I love the title of your first original musical, Backstabbed.
Yeah.
Backstabbed. That's the story of show business, by the way, for those who are wondering.
Yeah, multiple applications.
Yeah, very good. So how do we get tickets, Terry?
You just go to VWCT.org.
VWCT.org. Excellent. That's going to be a great show. I don't know if they still say break a leg or not in your
Yes.
generation.
Oh,
yes.
Do they still
Yes,
say
we
that?
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where does that come from? Do you know?
No.
My understanding, I think I heard Carol Burnett talking about it one time. Yeah, everybody worries when they're going to go on stage for the first time they're going to perform a show, and especially a musical or something like that. And so by saying something like break a leg, what that meant was go ahead, break your leg on stage. The worst thing that could possibly happen, during a show.
It's like a lot of phrases. You'll hear multiple reasons of where it came from.
That's right. That's the one I heard.
Yeah, well, there's several I've heard.
Yeah.
One is when you're going to the audition,
Mm-hmm.
you're hoping to get put in the cast.
There you go.
Very good.
But we have an exciting season coming up, but we are starting with Bonnie and Clyde the musical, and once again, we had a huge number of people that auditioned for that show, and they are in the process of rehearsing now.
How about that? Well, congratulations. Vanward Civic Theater is strong as can be. And that's great. It takes that community support, though.
Yes, it does.
Got to get behind it and make sure that it works, because you guys are, as Little Rascals used to say, let's put on a show. Spanking alfalfa.
Yes.
All right. Terry Place and Perry Webb. Perry, congratulations. That's a lot of work, and it's going to be thrilling again to see it on stage for the second time for you.
Yes,
huh? Yeah, excellent.
absolutely.
First time for anybody else around here, certainly.